सो वेलकम बैक फ्रेंड्स, भाई और बहनों नमस्कार। इतना निराश मत होइए। मैंने कहा था कि कुछ रिबाउंड आएगा, थोड़ा पेशेंस रखिए। ये पेशेंस के दिन चल रहे हैं। अब ये लास्ट वीक अगर देखा जाए तो कुछ न्यूज़ सही नहीं रही। अगर आप उसको ध्यान से शांति से सोचें तो ग्रीनलैंड के ऊपर अच्छा न्यूज़ नहीं था। ईरान के ऊपर तो अभी भी अच्छा नहीं है कि वॉरशिप्स भेज रहे हैं अमेरिका। दैट्स स्टिल नॉट वेरी गुड न्यूज़। एंड देन केम द न्यूज़ दैट the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States is sending summons via email to Gautam Adani and Sagar Adani. All these are not very good news at all. Good news अभी आने बाकी है। मेरे पास दो रास्ते हैं। मैं दूसरों की तरह आपको ऐसे ही डराते रहूं, क्रैश हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा। हो भी सकता है, मुझे नहीं लगता। There are at least two good news which are lurking, which should impact the markets next week. One is that the Reserve Bank of India on Friday has announced a series of liquidity measures that will inject more than $23 billion or around 2 lakh crores into the banking system following a review of the current liquidity and the financial conditions. मतलब उन्होंने देखा है कि लिक्विडिटी कम होते जा रही है और पहले भी उन्होंने कई बार ये सब इंट्रोड्यूस किए हैं। Central Bank will use a combination of open market bond purchases, a foreign exchange swap, and a variable rate repo operation to ease liquidity conditions in the financial system. And as a part of the measures, RBI will conduct a 90-day variable rate repo, VRR जिसको कहते हैं, operation for an amount of 25,000 crores on January 30, 2026, allowing banks to borrow funds at market determined rates against collateral. Further, RBI will also carry out a USD INR buy sell swap auction of $10 billion with a tenor of 3 years on February 4, a move aimed at injecting durable rupee liquidity while managing foreign exchange market conditions. In addition, the central bank has also said it will purchase government securities. तो ये ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन जिसे कहते हैं, एग्रीगेट OMO, worth an aggregate 1 lakh crores to open market operations in February. The bond purchases will be conducted in two tranches of 50,000 crores each on February 5 and February 12. Moreover, that this is all coming at a time which is just close to the budget. Also today, we have other things. We had a US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at Davos on Friday hinting that additional 25% tariffs on India might be removed after India's purchases of Russian oil have significantly dropped due to a 25% tariff imposed by the US, calling it a huge success. He made the remarks during a conversation with Politico amidst a geopolitical landscape surrounding Indian oil imports, US tariffs and EU trade ambitions has reached a critical flashpoint. Scott Bessent told Politico that Indian refinery purchases of Russian oil have completely collapsed due to US tariffs, hinting that while the tariffs remain in place, a diplomatic path exists to remove them. But he, however, hastened to add that a final decision remains on President Donald Trump. फिर भी ये भी अच्छी न्यूज़ है। तीसरा, EU के साथ एक डील होने की पूरी संभावना है। There's a good chance, almost certainty. It's just a few chapters of the EU India, and that is being called a historical deal. So that is coming up in just a few days' time. So we have, unlike the last week, there are a lot of news, and it's always possible that some new negative news may come. But I believe that there is a lot of good news expected, which is not being factored into the market. और ऐसा नहीं है कि मार्केट विल बी लाइक कंप्लीट बुल रन में चले जाएगा, लेकिन एटलीस्ट कुछ राहत आने की संभावना जरूर है. There will be some periods where things can get difficult also, but मेरे ख्याल से एक the chances of some rebound of is definitely on the cards now. And we have what we call or is being described as mother of all deals. तो जो ये जो बनने वाली है डील, इसको इतना कुछ हिस्टोरिक माइलस्टोन can be described as a historical milestone, and it would create positive momentum for India's ties with various European countries. So at the time when there is friction elsewhere in the world, that this is going to be historic, and it will be setting the stage for future deals also. So this is going to be announced in just a few days' time. And we have the European Council President Antonio Luis Santos de Costa and the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. They will be chief guests at India's Republic Day celebrations on Monday, January 26. Besides the state banquets and the ceremonial pomp of the event, the two leaders will have a more pressing item on their agenda, that is completing the trade agreement with India. And this comes at a particularly trying moment for world economy. The choice of guests also carries an important diplomatic message from India. Delhi is accelerating strategic and trade ties with the rest of the world, and is moving fast. So some reports said that this could be as early as 27th of January. So that's, I would say, 1 or 2 days here and there. The leaders from both the sides. And even Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has suggested that this is now just a few days away. So we have some more good news. This has been talked for quite some time, but it has not reached the headlines. So the pact will be India's 9th free trade agreement in 4 years, coming off on the back of a string of deals with the United Kingdom, Oman, New Zealand, and other countries. For Brussels, it follows the recently concluded trade deal with the Mercosur trading bloc, as well as with Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. Now, both sides now seek reliable trade partners, as threats arising out of geopolitical situations have created a tumultuous environment for commerce. The urge is equally strong for India to offset US tariff issues and the EU to offset trade dependence on China, which it considers unreliable. So I think the deal will be a very interesting one. And once it makes headlines, you will see that investors will feel happy. And now Scott Bessent is also talking of removing the penalty, 25% penalty on the Indian goods on account of the oil purchases from Russia having reduced. तो ये 3 न्यूज़ है, तीनों आनी बाकी है, और भी अच्छा ना बाकी है. हो सकता है बीच में कुछ खराब भी आ जाए. मैं एक लाइन तो नहीं कह सकता हूँ, लेकिन कह सकता हूँ जरूर कि एक जो है, आप इतना निराश मत होइए. ये मेरा खुद का ओपिनियन है, हो सकता है मैं गलत भी हूँ. अपना खुद का भी एनालिसिस जरूर करिए, और आपको इंटरेस्ट हो तो प्रीमियम प्लस ज्वाइन करिए जरूर. 10-12 दिन प्रेडिक्शंस एडवांस में और अच्छे मल्टी बैगर रिकमेंडेशंस. इट्स वन ऑफ आवर ट्रेडमार्क ग्रुप्स, प्रीमियम प्लस एंड प्रीमियम एलिट, जो सबसे अच्छा है 1 महीना एडवांस में देते हैं. ये दोनों में बहुत मेहनत करता हूं मैं. संपर्क करने का नंबर 9820861044. नमस्ते, जय हिंद.